pamoja na wataalam, vyakula vilivyopikwa na kukorombezwa, viungo mwake vya kipwani, ngoma zetu za asilia za Kimijikenda, bila kusahau tarabu na chakacha. Yaani wanawake Uswahilini watakuwa wakinengua na kuzungusha viuno kama panga boy za trekta ndani ya mitindo ya kipwani KUTV, ukiletewa moja kwa moja kutoka Salama Bling Beach Resort kila Jumamosi saa 10 jioni na Jumapili saa 4 usiku, ukiwa nami mtamu wako zaidi ya asali. Mimi naitwa Waridi Tamu. Mpenzi mtazamaji, usipitwe na matamu.
Hi, my name is Stella Tioi.
Jina langu naitwa Okemwa Mokwa James.
This is Mandela Gaya.
Ugonjwa ulipokuja ulichukua siku 3 ukaniweka in coma. 20 wamezikwa, 2 ndio wako hai.
I don't even know how it feels to see.
I feel like I cannot express myself well the way somebody who can walk can actually express themselves.
Ilichukua muda mwingi mrefu tena mpana ili kuikubali kwamba mimi siwezi tembea tena.
I've come to actually accept myself.
Ukijaribu kumsimamisha mtu umwambie tafadhali nionyeshe njia,
They find it quite strange talking to you.
You should just make schools integrated,
Inclusive setups.
by providing the right facilities.
Hello there, and many thanks for joining us tonight. I hope your day was awesome. Mine was fantastic. Thank you for asking. And of course, we have much and more lined up for you in our subsequent bulletin tonight, from matters, politics, business, sports, and everything in between. And of course, we'll be sure to bring you up to speed with the latest unfolding here in the great republic of 254, and of course beyond our borders. And this is what to expect.
This is KUTV Primetime News with Auma Evans.
Right, tonight I'm not alone. I'm in full backup of Joy Mtava as our sign language interpreter tonight. Remember, you can follow this broadcast on all of our social media platforms. We are coming to you live on YouTube at KUTV News Live. You can tweet us on X at KUTV_Kenya, at Auma Evans. The hashtag to use KUTV Primetime News. And tonight, we begin with the latest. Now, former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua has dismissed calls for the opposition to immediately unveil a 2027 presidential candidate, insisting that unity comes before personal ambition. Gachagua also took aim at President William Ruto and his deputy Kithure Kindiki, accusing his allies of focusing on succession politics instead of issuing affecting Kenyans. Auma starts us off tonight with a report.
While meeting grassroots mobilizers from Nyeri County, former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua insisted that the united opposition will not be rushed into naming its presidential flag bearer for the 2027 general election. He argued that the coalition's priority remains building structures, consolidating support and maintaining unity across the country.
Wamasai nimemaliza. Nataka nimalize hii ya Kipsigis. Nikimaliza niketi na kina Kalonzo na wengine. Tuanze kuulizana nani ataongoza Kenya na ni kwa nini. Si ndio? Si iko namna hiyo? Niseme mimi nimesanya kula milioni 8 ya Wamasai ya mlima. Nairobi niko na 1 million. Wamasai 1 million. For Kipsigis 600. Mimi karibu 12 million. So tuongee. Tujue nani ataongoza ke?
While criticizing Ruto's administration, Gachagua accused the government of neglecting the interests of the Mount Kenya region, despite its role in delivering the 2022 election victory, arguing that the government's priority were out of touch with the concerns of many citizens.
Nikamwambia serikali yako, foundation ni mlima Kenya. Apana guza hii mlima. Don't touch the foundation of your government. Huyu Pastor Dokas alikuwa anamuombea mpaka wanaongea in tongues. Huyu Kasongo si alikuja hapa? Mara ngapi? Mara 2. Si alikuwa hapa? Akilia tumsaidie. Juzi anasema ati alijileta kwa mlima. Si ujilete sasa. Si ujilete.
And in what appeared to be a direct response to Deputy President Kithure Kindiki's recent remarks in Embu, Gachagua dismissed attempts to project an individual as the political spokesperson of the Mount Kenyan region, maintained that leadership will ultimately be determined by the people and not through political declaration or endorsements.
Kindiki alipanga hii maneno na ichungwa na Ruto before the elections. So juzi nimeona akiongea huyu Rigiji, mimi nilikuwa na mshauri nikiwa minister. Ulikuwa unanishauri na ulikuwa unanipangia usiku. Mlikuwa mnapanga na Kasongo. Hii ni kitu mlipanga tangu zamani.
Gachagua's message was clear. The opposition is focused on building a united front first, while the question of who will carry its presidential flag remains a battle for another day. Brian Auma, KUTV.
Saporano, Kasongo.
All right, and still matters politics as the nation approaches the 2027 general election. Unsettling trend of political goonism has emerged across the country. Former Cabinet Secretary Fred Matiang'i has warned that if this goonism continues, the country could face turmoil come 2027. His concerns comes after opposition leaders were attacked in Auma and Nakuru County, igniting concerns on the country's security as it nears the 2027 general elections. Listen in.
Speaking in Nairobi during a media briefing, former Interior Cabinet Secretary Dr. Fred Matiang'i criticized the recent tide of political thuggery witnessed across the country. This concern comes a day after the Linda Mwananchi movement was heavily attacked in Auma County, among other cases.
The deployment of resources, you can see clearly this was very well choreographed, it was very well planned. You don't have to be you can tell the amount of resources being involved, the level of mobilization. The leaders in that area who are organizing that had been swearing all week. And no one is arrested these days, no one is charged in a court of law with that kind of violence. The level of impunity has gone to new levels.
According to Matiang'i, opposition leaders are being tracked through the internet by government machineries.
These days, we get trailed, and my staffers can bear me out. We get trailed by vehicles, I believe they belong to the state, with jammers. We stop to address rallies, our Wi-Fi is interfered with, you cannot communicate. I was checking with my staffers who were checking with the team that Rigathi Gachagua was traveling with over the weekend. They began experiencing the same challenges on the trail. And these are jammers. I believe this is the work of the state. Who has the capacity to do that?
With the cases being rampant, many leaders are now calling for accountability from national security and intelligence bodies. The question as to how such large-scale disruption could occur without their awareness is a matter of concern that needs to be looked into.
I saw the other day a report that was done by private investors from EU are interested in Kenya. I even made reference to it in an interview I did another day. All of them are raising issues about the security of the country and the stability of the country going forward because of these wounds and the level of crime in the country.
The former cabinet secretary highlighted the significance of political stability in the country, even as we head into the general election. He emphasized that political parties have a right to engage citizens across the country without being met with chaos or intimidation.
We've always been visiting and working with these people. Why is it a problem this time that his motorcade has to be stoned, returned, and so on? I mean, how many times, honestly, let me ask you, how many times has James Orengo gone to Auma Bay in his life? It is this transactional politics where people think that to inflict violence and pain in the manner in which they are trying to do is the only way of asserting yourself, asserting your authority.
With the general election around the corner and external organization predicting political violence, the question now remains, what measures will the government put in place to avoid these? Brian Auma, KUTV.
All right, now a day after violent clashes erupted during the Linda Mwananchi rally, the aftermath continues to weigh heavily on the community in Auma Bay County. Reports indicate that 2 individuals have lost their lives while several others have sustained injuries amidst the chaos. The effects of the political violence are starkly visible, with significant damage inflicted on local infrastructure, notably the Auma Bay Tourist Hotel and the SDA Lake Victoria Field Church headquarters suffered considerable damage during the disturbance. Given the fact that the 2027 general elections are around the corner, many fear that what we are witnessing may be foreshadowing what to expect as next year comes around.
The leadership of Auma Bay, shame on you. Shame on you. My tears roll because I'm a mother. People have been killed. People have been hurt. Why? Because they want to listen to Linda Mwananchi. Why? Why would you do that? I cry for my country. I cry for my country. This is terrible. And shame on you, the leadership of Auma Bay.
All right. Very intense moment there. Now, former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua has moved to the Court of Appeal in a fresh attempt to overturn the High Court decision that upheld his impeachment. Through the appeal, Gachagua argues that the judges erred in validating the Senate's decision despite finding that his removal from office was unconstitutional and his constitutional rights were violated during the impeachment process. He maintains that the Senate proceedings were fundamentally flawed and wants the appellate court to declare the impeachment unconstitutional while accepting the 50 million Kenyan shillings compensation awarded for violation of his rights. Gachagua says he will continue pursuing legal remedies to clear his name and challenge his removal from office. All right, now let me take you to Kilifi County. Now, Kilifi County health officials have vowed to take action against staff accused of poor service delivery at Malindi Sub-County Hospital. This follows an unannounced inspection after patients raised concerns over long waiting times and poor communication. And as KUTV's Petra Faith reports, the county is seeking to improve services amid ongoing doctors' industrial action.
Malindi Sub-County Hospital in Kilifi County is facing increased pressure as it serves patients from neighboring counties. Health officials moving to strengthen staffing and services to meet growing demand. The county health team, led by County Executive Committee member Peter Mwarogo, found several areas requiring attention with patients' concerns, prompting officials to intervene.
Tumeweza kweli kuzunguka na tumekuwa tukifanya hizi visits mara kwa mara, si mara moja hii na haitakuwa ya mwisho. Na kuko na vitu pia sisi tumeweza kusoma na kuona na tunataka kuhakikishia hospitali hii ni yenu. Mkuwe na imani nayo na tunahakikishia kuwa tutawapa huduma bora.
Mwarogo says the county has already begun addressing some of the challenges identified, including delays in assessing laboratory results. He also outlines measures being taken against staff found to be neglecting their duties.
Wanaohudumia wagonjwa wanajitahidi kadri anavyoweza, lakini shida kubwa inatokea pale kwa upande wa kutoa taarifa kwa wagonjwa. Utakuta labda wagonjwa hawapati maelezo vizuri kwa nini labda inabidi wasubiri, ama kwa nini inabidi labda mwingine aonekane mbele ya yule ambaye aliyefika wa kwanza, hasa wakati wa dharura, wakati wa emergency inabidi labda hata yule aliyeingia mwisho ahudumiwe wa kwanza kwa sababu hali yake yahitaji kuhudumiwa kwa haraka.
Communication between health workers and patients has also emerged as a concern. County officials say staff will receive additional training to improve patient interaction and ensure clearer communication.
Hivi karibuni tukipata referrals nyingi sana kutoka maeneo ya Tana River, maeneo pia ya sehemu za Garissa na Lamu zikiwa kwa wingi. Sana sana ikiwa ni kufuata huduma zetu bora zenye ziko Malindi ambazo hazipatikani kule, na haswa wakati huu wa mgomo ambapo zile kaunti zingine mgomo unaendelea, lakini hapa tumejaribu kuhakikisha tunapata wahudumu na madaktari hawa wa contract ndio tuendelee na huduma zetu.
The county has also moved to strengthen emergency response at the facility, including improving ambulance services and dedicating one ambulance to maternity cases.
Moja ambalo limekuwa ni donda sugu sana hapa ni upande wa maabara. Watu wametuambia kwamba wakija hapa wanachelewa sana kupata majibu ya wanapokuwa wamechukuliwa vipimo mbalimbali, na tumehakikisha kwamba tumeleta huduma hizo za maabara katika maeneo haya ambayo wagonjwa wanatibiwa na kurudi nyumbani, yani accident emergency na outpatient area. Sasa
the hospital is further dealing with pressure from referrals outside Kilifi, with patients from Tana River, Lamu and Lower Garissa also seeking services at the facility. With staffing, accountability and communication now under review, county officials say the measures are aimed at making services more efficient and improving patient experience at Malindi Sub-County Hospital. Petra Faith, KUTV.
At the same time, 3 people have been killed in Sagamian, Narok County after a police officer opened fire during an alleged attempt by residents to force their way into police cell and free a suspect. The incident has sparked condemnation from local leaders led by Narok County Governor Patrick Olentutu. Vincent Karori reports on a day the leaders urged residents to respect the law, maintain peace and avoid action that could escalate tensions in the community.
Following the death of 3 people after police opened fire on residents who allegedly attempted to remove a suspect from a police cell in Sagamian, Narok County, leaders have condemned the incidents and urged residents to follow the law when seeking the release of arrested persons. Narok Governor Patrick Olentutu described the incidents as unfortunate and cautioned residents against attempting to remove suspects from police cells, saying there are legal procedures for securing their release.
Niseme tu ya kwamba kuna shida jana ilitokea hapa Sagamian. A very unfortunate situation. Ya kwamba kuna mtu alikuwa ameshikwa na askari. Alafu wananchi wametoka pale wanaenda kutaka kutoa ile mtu kwa cell. Na hiyo unajua ni hatia kubwa. Mwananchi kwenda kutoa mtu ambaye ameshikwa na askari. Hiyo shida ilitokea, askari wakaanza kufetua risasi kwa sababu hiyo wanajaribu kufanya ya kwamba watu watatoroka. Unfortunately, we have lost 3 people.
Narok South Member of Parliament Kitilai Ntutu also warned former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua against what he termed public ethnic politics, urging national leaders to focus on issues affecting Kenyans rather than advancing community or regional interests.
Maneno hii ya delegate imeisha. Maneno ya kwamba sasa mnataka nini? Nataka kuomba Mheshimiwa Gachagua awache kugawanya Wakenya kikabila. Sijui kama tuko pamoja.
Kitilai praised President William Ruto's administration for implementing development projects across the country, while Narok woman representative Rebecca Tongei called on residents to maintain peace and reject tribal divisions.
Nataka kuwaomba wale watu hapana sikia maneno ya rais wetu. Tafadhali tuamuka asubuhi, tuchukue kura, tuchukue kupande, twende turudishe hii serikali kwa kiti. Na mimi nataka kuwatangazia 90% ya Wamasai wako ndani.
Kwa sababu sisi tuna support mtu ambaye anafanya kazi taifa la Kenya. Na hiyo ndio tunasema 2 term ya William Samoei Ruto.
The leaders urged Kenyans to support development efforts, respect elected leaders and maintain peace, while also calling on religious leaders and the public to pray for the country's leadership. Vincent Karoli, KUTV.
All right, that story by Vincent Karoli now takes us to our first break here on KUTV Primetime News. Remember, we still have much and more lined up for you after the break.
I will give you the amount that you want. Very good. So long as you get me out of here. Unajua. Can you just do the necessary? Say no more. It is called research, not investigation. Wallahi, I will never repeat this again. I will never.
You are watching KUTV Primetime News with Auma Evans.
All right, welcome back and thank you for keeping it KUTV Primetime News. Now, let's continue to inform you. Former Cabinet Secretary for Gender Aisha Jumwa has warned Health Cabinet Secretary Adan Duale against undermining her and Coast residents who do not support the Kenya Kwanza administration. Speaking in Kilifi County, Jumwa said Coast residents will not allow Duale to dictate their political direction ahead of the 2027 general election. Jumwa, who previously served as Cabinet Secretary, described herself as the 21st century Mikatelili Wamenza, saying she will lead the Mijikenda community on the political path to take ahead of 2027 general election. She also accused Duale of dishonesty, insisting that she will not, or rather he will not secure President William Ruto's re-election.
And I will carry the Mijikenda nation and the people of the coast, and I will show them direction. Kama unafikiri hakuna, mimi nimekuambia niko. Kwa hivyo nataka nikwambie Adan Duale, tuheshimu, jiheshimu na uache unafiki, kwa sababu nakumbuka wakati rais alifanya dismissal ya cabinet, wewe Adan Duale ulipelekwa defense. After some few hours ukatolewa defense, ukapelekwa environment. Ulinipigia simu wewe mwenyewe mimi na ukasema William Ruto hana roho, hana shukurani, ni mtu mbaya sana, anachukua defense amepatia girlfriend yake. It is you, Duale, who called me.
At the same time, now Kenya's watch industry is on the verge of taking a new direction as manufacturers from China seek to expand their business partnership with the East African market. Rather than simply exporting finished products, these companies are now exploring opportunities to establish production partnership, private labels, and customized watch manufacturing tailored to needs of African consumers. Kenya is keen as a key hub due to the size of its market and its strategic position in connecting regional markets. This development emerged during the meeting that brought together manufacturers and buyers in watch industry held at the Sarit Expo Center here in Nairobi.
The one thing that we put it on our core of our company is the quality. We have to maintain, make sure every watch that goes to our customer, they have to like it, to make sure the quality, everything will be perfect, just perfectly. We will listen to what the customer needs. We will listen to their hearts and what they real needs in the market, what they can sell, and to feedback me, then we will change our flaws in our products and make it better. And second, the transportation in Kenya, I think it's gonna be great, like a very great advantage for Kenya markets, because Kenya, there are a lot of ports. This will help a lot of countries from Africa. They move goods through Kenya market to their own country. So they are gonna be easier or convenient for them to export or import goods from other countries.
The market is good, although if you ask me from a seller's perspective, I think we need to do more campaigns on watch wearing. Not a lot of people have the watch wearing culture, but we also need to do, again, more campaigns on watch rebranding. We need to get our creativity in the game, you know. We need to have beaded watches. We need to have watch straps that are made from Maasai shukas coated with something, creativity, to improve on the watch wearing culture.
The Chinese watches, to be honest, they're really affordable. Anyone can come and buy them. And to be honest, you can't compare the prices for the Chinese watches with the prices that you can get in any store or watch store in Kenya, because here that's where they're selling them at a very, not retail, but wholesale price.
All right, private investors are transforming the once dry Galana-Kulalu plains in Kilifi and Tana River counties into a year-round agricultural hub using modern irrigation and solar power to boost food production, create jobs, and reduce Kenya's reliance on imported food, as Petra Faith now tells us in the following report.
Agri-Products Limited in Galana-Kulalu, Kilifi County is using solar-powered irrigation and modern farming technology to produce maize, onions and other crops throughout the year as private investors seek to turn the arid region into a major food production hub.
Basically, in Nyumba Agri, what we are doing, we are growing food for our country, majorly on cereals and vegetables. For the cereals, we are doing maize, both seed and commercial. Like the crop where we are, ahead of us is a plot of seed maize. We have a lot for commercial maize. And vegetables, mainly we are dealing with onions. We have 310 hectares of onion currently on the ground. For the seed maize, we have 275 hectares currently.
Water from the Galana River is stored in reservoirs and earth dams before being pumped through the farm's irrigation network. Solar panels runs much of the system, helping the farm overcome limited access to the national grid.
Irrigation is the backbone of every farming project. It's the key points when it comes to farming. For us having multiple reservoirs and we have access to the irrigation water in the center pivots, it enables us to have a crop throughout the year.
The project is also focusing on value addition, with lower grade onions processed into flakes and cassava turned into starch. A sisal processing plant is also under construction.
So our main aim for this project is to feed this nation. So everything here which is being harvested, it's really going to our locals. We are not exporting anything.
The farm currently employs about 1,800 people, mostly from neighboring communities, providing income for families in the area.
Hii mradi imenisaidia juu nafunza wadogo zangu na pia ninalisha wadogo zangu na pia wanavaa kupitia mradi.
Kuna vijana wengi tulikuwa tumekaa manyumbani hatuna makazi, lakini huu mradi ulipokuja ukaanza na ulipokuwa unaanza na sisi vijana tukapata makazi tu.
Nyumba Agri-Products is among private investors supporting the wider Galana-Kulalu food security project, which targets about 300 acres for irrigation and commercial agriculture. With modern irrigation, renewable energy and value addition driving the transformation, Galana Kulalu could become a major source of food and employment, turning once dry plains into a productive agricultural frontier. Petra Faith, KUTV.
Right, and as politics ahead of the 2027 general election continue to gain momentum in Mount Kenya region, government leaders led by Cabinet Secretary for ICT William Kabogo have stepped up efforts to seek the support of residents in the region, which holds significant political influence. Speaking during Mount Kenya caucus meeting held in Kiambu County, leaders condemned the tribal and divisive politics, stressing the importance of national unity and reaching out to grassroots residents to explain government projects and policies. Vincent Karoli reports.
As politics ahead of the 2027 general election continue to accelerate in the Mount Kenya region, government leaders have continued to seek the support of residents while condemning tribal and divisive politics. Speaking during a Mount Kenya caucus meeting that brought together cabinet secretaries, principal secretaries and more than 1,000 village elders from Kiambu County, the leaders said the Mount Kenya region has an important role to play in the upcoming election. Cabinet Secretary for ICT William Kabogo has criticized politics that seek to divide Kenyans, saying leaders should avoid remarks that could incite hatred and instead preach national unity.
So if you know who killed Raila, why are you telling us? Who else was killed when you were deputy president? Because you seem to know a lot. Mlima si ni Kenya? Mlima si ni Kenya? Nairobi si ni Kenya? Tuwache kutenganishwa kwa misingi ya kikabila. Hiyo maneno tulimaliza wakati wa ubeberu.
On his part, Principal Secretary for Energy Alex Kamau Washira said they are making every effort to ensure that the government regains support in the Mount Kenya region, saying the move is important before Kenyans make their decision on the country's leadership.
We are reminding our people that we have a lot to celebrate within the government of William Samoei Ruto, and let us reap what we can within the administration of William Samoei Ruto. And we're also telling our people, because we had grassroots leaders spread across Kiambu County, that they should go and spread the good gospel of what the president has been able to do.
Principal Secretary for Prison Services Salome Wairimu Biako said the collaboration with Nyumba Kumi elders is aimed at reaching grassroots residents and explaining the government projects being implemented. Vincent Karoli, KUTV.
At the same time, Energy Cabinet Secretary Opiyo Wandayi has strongly defended the government's plans to construct Kenya's first ever nuclear power plant in Siaya County, blaming residents and local protests from outside forces aiming to sabotage regional growth. Speaking in Bondo, the Energy CS urged the residents of Siaya County to back the 500 billion proposed energy project that will not only generate power for the country but also spur massive infrastructure development in the region.
Cabinet Secretary Opiyo Wandayi has blamed the recent series of demonstrations against the proposed nuclear power plant in Siaya County on individuals who are against development in the region. Wandayi blames individuals who hail from outside Siaya County for funding demonstrations to incite the locals to reject the establishment of nuclear power plant in Lenya area in Bondo sub-county.
Hii mradi ya nuclear power plant ni mradi ya maana sana. Hii ni itakuwa mradi wa kwanza wa nuclear power production katika hii nchi ya Kenya. Na kwa bahati nzuri Mheshimiwa Rais na serikali yake wameamua kwamba hiyo mradi iletwe hapa Siaya County. Na hiyo mradi itagharimu karibu shilingi bilioni 500. Nusu trilioni ya pesa. Sisi kama wananchi wa eneo hili wa county ya Siaya lazima tushukuru serikali kuu. Na lazima tuwe katika mstari wa mbele kuhifadhi hiyo mradi na kuiunga mkono ili itekelezwe haraka iwezekanavyo.
Wandai also thanked the political class from the region who have backed the project for the benefit of the people.
Na wanatumiwa na wengine ambao hawapendi development ya hii eneo, lazima wakemewe vilivyo.
The CS further urged the residents to back President William Ruto's administration, for it has brought development projects ranging from the nuclear project to allocating more than 2 billion for electricity connectivity in this fiscal year. The CS remains steadfast that the plant will not only supply grid power but also massive infrastructure development across the Nyanza region.
All right, we are taking yet another very short break here on KUTV Primetime News. We still have much and more lined up for you after this very short break.
Conversations on matters health are important for you. From the nitty-gritties of what it takes to take care of yourself on a daily basis to the policies that affect your well-being at a national level, we have all these conversations on one show.
In terms of the nose, we deal with the allergies, we deal with sinuses, and even nose bleeding. Simple things and also big things as well.
Make our homes safe spaces where children are able to talk, feel validated without being judged, because the young people want to be heard.
Every Thursday, 7:30 p.m., join me, Yvonne Kimuma, on Focus on Health to keep you abreast of these conversations right here on KUTV.
You are watching KUTV Primetime News with Auma Evans.
Okay, welcome back. Now let's continue. Now, Matungulu, or rather Matungu Member of Parliament Stephen Mule, has urged political leaders across the country to exercise peaceful political campaigns following a rise in violence at political gatherings. Speaking in Tala, Machakos County, Mule strongly condemned yesterday's violence in Homa Bay County during Linda Mwananchi political rally, calling on religious leaders, particularly the church, to take the lead in warning and uniting politicians. He warned that if the use of gangs at political rallies is not stopped, the country could be plunged into election-related violence in 2027.
I want to condemn in the highest order the violence be suspected to leaders right now. It is a shame, and we will call it a shame, and we want the church to come on board to make sure that we have peace in this country, to make sure that everyone has a chance in this country to talk to the people.
And Seventh-day Adventist Church leaders and youth affairs experts have sounded the alarm over possible political exploitation of young people ahead of 2027 general election. Speaking at Narok New Life Church Camp Church Center in Narok County, after the annual youth convention, the leaders urged the youth to reject political incitement, violence, and manipulation, calling on young people to exercise their democratic rights peacefully, warning that political differences should not be allowed to fuel conflict. The leaders urge, or rather further challenge, the youths to embrace skills, opportunities, and constructive ideas that can improve their livelihood and safeguard peace.
That let our young people be calm. let our young people exercise their democratic rights of making choices by ensuring that they don't go violent. They demonstrate their democratic right at the ballot box by choosing the person they want.
Vijana wetu ningewaomba ya kwamba the Bible says that they obey. As our theme of this year camp meeting, ningewaomba they obey and do the right thing during the 2027 general election.
Still Motors cautionary actions. Now, religious leaders are warning the rising political intolerance could threaten Kenya's economic stability and social cohesion ahead of the 2027 general elections. Speaking during a youth and women conference at Belishiba Church at Kahawa West, Kiambu County, the clergy condemned the use of organized youth groups to fuel violence during political engagements. The leaders, led by Reverend Joseph Kibe, Kanyui Mwaniki, and Pastor Ann, urge politicians to embrace tolerance and issue-based campaigns focus on citizens' need, warning that political hostility could discourage investment, disrupt businesses, and weaken public confidence in institutions, while calling for accountability against those who incite or organize violence.
Mwananchi nataka kumuongelesea na sana sana wanayudhi wetu wasije wakatumike vibaya kwa ajili ya kukosesa watu wale wengine amani. Siku ya leo utakula hiyo chenye ambacho utakapopewa ndio uweze kufanya vile utakavyofanya, lakini kesho yake haujui. Maybe utaenda upate umeisha, kifo imekufuata, mambo mengi sana. Lakini vile ambavyo ningetaka niombe wanayudhi wetu, wanarika, nimewasihi Mungu aweze kuwasaidia ndio muweze kujua na kugundua mambo ambayo ingeweza kuja kuleta changamoto katika ndani ya maisha yenu.
Alright, just a point of correction. Kahawa West is in Nairobi County and not in Kiambu County. Apologies for that. Now, more than 300 residents in Thingudi Ward in Laikipia County have benefited from a free medical camp aimed at promoting early detections and prevention of diseases. Now, the residents were screened for prostate cancer, diabetes, high blood pressure, and other non-communicable diseases, as well as nutritional guidance, with Medic raising concerns over the rising burden of prostate cancer and low uptake of early screenings among men, urging residents to seek regular health checkups.
Leo tumekuwa na medical camp ambayo imekuwa ikiangazia maneno ya preventive health care. Wazee wanaangaliwa maneno ya zile vitu tunasema non-communicable disease, maneno ya blood pressure, maneno ya diabetes, maneno ya prostate cancer.
Vizuri, nimepata matibabu mema na dawa nimepata zote, hata dawa nanunuaga much expensive. I'm so excited that nimepata. Kwa hivyo nashukuru kwa hii camp na nigeomba si ikuwe ya leo tu, kwanza ikuwe inaendelea kila ikiwezekana quarterly.
Na one of the things yenye imetuleta hapa ni kuscreen watu ugonjwa wa prostate cancer. Tunasema early detection of prostate cancer is very important, especially kwa men, because most of the men wanna take time sana kwenda hospitalini, wengine ni ngumu sana kwenda hospitalini.
And what is Kamuri Foundation doing, along with partnership with the church and the community leaders and the volunteers, is to bring preventive medicine to the people of Laikipia, so that they are healthy, they are wise, and that it prevents them from spending extra money when things are bad.
Okay, now let's talk sports. Now, the 2026 Women's Africa Cup of Nations has come to an end, with Cameroon crowned Africa's women champions after winning the tournament for the first time in their football history. After previous attempts in 2004, 2014 and 2016, Cameroon finally lifted the trophy. They defeated Malawi 3-0 in a clean sheet victory at the Moulay El Hassan Stadium in Rabat in Morocco, with Maria Nga scoring a brace while Njoa Eto'o sealing the victory with a third goal. Now, the historic triumph makes Cameroon fourth different nation to win the Women's Africa Cup of Nations, joining Nigeria, Equatorial Guinea, and South Africa. The 33rd Federation of East Africa Secondary School Sports Association Games is underway in Morogoro in Tanzania, with 5 East African countries competing for regional honors. Kenya, Uganda, Burundi, Rwanda, and Tanzania, the hosts, are taking part in the competition, which runs from the 16th to 23rd of August. Beyond competition, the Fiesta Games are providing students with a platform to discover, develop, and showcase their sporting ability while promoting regional integration, or rather interaction and unity.
Let's renew our commitment to investing in our young people, strengthening regional cooperation, and building an East African that is peaceful, inclusive, and globally competitive. May these games inspire excellence. May they deepen friendship. May they strengthen regional integration. May they nurture the leaders of tomorrow.
That's all for tonight. Many thanks for the men and women behind the scene and for all those who made this production a success. My name is Auma Evans. Jim Tava has been our sign language interpreter tonight. Good night.